What's up? What's up? What is good to my family? What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today, man? Before I even go into the price list, before I go into all of that, I just want to say, whenever you're watching this, I hope that you're having a great day. Had a great day. It is your boy B back with another video, and we're here every day of the week, every morning. I'm here at, hold on, what time is it? Make sure I'm on time. 11 a.m. Okay, but I'm before 11 a.m. today. It's 10:47. All right, so y'all can catch this every morning. Okay, I will have a different topic that we'll be talking about, more calculated with more purpose, and you guys can tune in live or after. Live is always great because me and you can always talk and chat it up, and we can get to the nitty gritty of anything that you guys need or help that you need from me. All right. Now, let's make this very clear. Okay. There's one thing that I see a lot of people on, or in regards to, I say that, in regards to phone flipping, don't talk about. Right. So what is phone flipping? Phone flipping, of course, is when you are buying a phone lower than market value and you are utilizing a price list of some sort to basically make you more money. It's literally you recycling your bread. It's something I fell in love with a while ago, and I know you guys will as well, but you got to do it the right way. Now, I've seen too many people doing this the wrong way. I've recently ran across an individual that was a little bit upset because he didn't understand the difference between a price list and atlas. I ran across an individual that has made 5K with my price list in 1 week. And I'm going to tell you something. It has nothing to do with the prices on the list. It has nothing to do with, hey, Brandon, buyers are taking this amount of money and making, like, we don't count people's pockets. That's number one. All right. So when you're negotiating, the best thing that you can do is walk into it and understand that you want to win. That's one of the best ways to actually approach this, right? Let me fix this camera a little bit. So when I say that you want to win is a negotiation, right? Getting through this phone flipping process. The main point is you should want to win. Now, what is winning? Winning is you actually making money. Winning is you actually being able to be the person that gets the phone for, or device, right? Because we're talking about iPads, MacBooks. We're talking about Androids, iPhones. You want to make sure you're the one getting these devices for the price that you want. That's how you win. Okay, it has nothing to do with, oh, I already brought these for extra high. Now I want to sell them to buyers. Let's make this clear. All right. We have to go over the fundamentals, guys, before we talk about negotiating, because if we don't go over the fundamentals, people start tripping like a transmission and don't even understand what the hell they're talking about. All right. I've been flipping phones for over a decade. Listen, right before I even was getting out of high school, I was flipping phones. I am somebody that has been doing this not because it was a hobby or because I was a businessman. No, this is the way I made my bread. This is the way I made my money. You understand me? And it wasn't something easy for me to be able to accomplish or me to be able to start. I started with only, I believe when I first started phone flipping, I started with around maybe $200 to $300. It was in between. And I was able to scale, build stores, be able to have my first 30K before I even could blink. And it was something not that I just made off of phone flipping. Let's make that clear. Phone flipping doesn't make you rich. Phone flipping actually brings you a steady income stream if you have the right people, if you have the right resellers, and etc. But we're going to get into all of that. Okay. Regardless, a buyer is somebody that's going to buy a device faster than a consumer. A consumer is somebody that's going to buy a device because they want the device, they want to use the device. That's the difference, right? So a consumer is somebody that is buying a device with the notion that they're going to use it, right? Or they have a use case for it. A wholesale buyer is going to be somebody buying a device to resell it. Who do you think is going to pay more? I just want to ask, who do you think is going to pay more? Like, let's get this out the way. Who's going to pay more? The person that's going to pay more is always going to be the consumer. Always. The consumer is going to pay based on emotion. The wholesale buyer is going to pay based on market value. Now, how do we determine market value? I have a total of 50 buyers on a price list, and you guys should already know this. If you guys follow me, you already know at hustlertaughtme.com, we have a phone flipping buyers price list, and I'll even exit out of this, and I'll show you guys the price list real quick. Hold on, let me show y'all. Let's go right here because we gonna keep it. We gonna keep it funky today. All right. So we're gonna go to Hustler. Hold on now. Hustler taught me .com. Okay, and then you go to phone flipping price list. This price list has a video right here that shows you exactly what the price list is, but I go over it as well. The price list has 50 buyers on one price list. They all work together. We make them all bid against each other. It is a smart system, but it's also a complex one, right? And what I will say is, if you are somebody that is looking to get into the price list, understand this. This price list isn't just going to give you the value of phones and let you know, hey, the phone will be X amount if you send it to a buyer. It also tells you what to bid on a device. It also tells you what not to go over. Why? Because we don't want you overpaying. A lot of people, they use Atlas and they use all these free price lists that are not they are resellers, but they're not people that are buying phones to resell on a large market. They're only doing it in the state that they're in. So prime example, we sell cellular. We Sell Cellular is going to be a company that sells phones, but they sell mainly to the tri-state area. They are going off of the value in the tri-state area. So if you were somebody in Virginia, cool. But if you're somebody in Cali trying to sell a phone, out there, the phone's going to be worth way more than what they would particularly buy the phone for in the tri-state area. So you have to have market value so that you can have a uniform amount that you understand the device is worth. Now, you going to sell the phone to buyers, yes, you can sell it to one of the 50 buyers, but I'm going to be honest with you. Sell it to the buyers or sell it to a consumer. Either or. There is no pressure for you to do anything crazy if you don't want. And you also should not feel like you have to always sell to buyers. Now, why would you sell to a buyer? The reason you would sell to a buyer is if you're trying to get money fast, if you're trying to get your bread back plus some profit fast, not if you're trying to make the most profit, because the most profit is going to come from what? I can't hear you. It's going to come from consumers every single time. Okay? So, give you guys an example. If we were to go to my offer right now, right? If we go to my offer right now, we can find a whole bunch of phones, I promise you. We can go to iPhone, right? Type in iPhone. And mind you, like I have people always trying to sell me phones, right? I have people that also will say, hey, well, listen, what I'll do is I'll let you know if I get anybody else to buy it. If not, then I'll sell it to you. But look, prime example, haven't been on OfferUp all day. Okay, this is something we're gonna do on a morning basis. Okay, we're gonna start getting back into just consistency. I have to do better, right? So, all right, this is a very vague post, and it was a guy or a person who created their OfferUp this month, but it says $760 for iPhone 16s, right? So any regular Joe Schmo probably would be like, oh, well, that's high, and I don't know if I want to pay that much. But somebody that has the buyer's price list can go down all the way to the iPhone 16, and then they can see an iPhone 16 unlocked, sealed, is worth $360. Locked, $220. Now you may be saying that is so low, B. Yes, it's low. You want to know why it's low? Because nobody wants these devices, because these devices are being sold for free. Well, not even sold, but they're being given for free with different carriers. That's the difference. Hold on, y'all. All right, there we go. So that's the difference. Is there is a big gap between being able to negotiate in the right mindset without having to overpay for phones, and then being able to negotiate without or with a market value aspect that can help you. Hold on. This person's calling me. It might be about my kids. 1 second, guys. All right. So next, right? When it comes to this market value and when it comes to us being able to negotiate, the first thing we have to understand is how to identify a wholesale seller and just a regular seller. Okay. Now, I'm telling you guys all of this stuff, and I'm giving you guys a bunch of nuggets right now that, again, you can't find in a lot of places, because a lot of places don't, or a lot of people, places, and a lot of organizations don't really get these phones the way that they say, right? So let me explain. The way that you look for a device is you can go on OfferUp, you can go on a whole bunch of different places, but we're going to stick with OfferUp. If we search iPhone up, we see a whole bunch of these phones. First thing I would do is I would not go to best match, but I would go to recent first. Why? Because when you wake up, you want to find the devices that people are listing automatically within that morning or last night. The reason is because those are going to be the ones that are most urgent. Next, you're going to see promoted. You're usually going to see promoted in the third slot, and it's usually going to be a phone that nobody wants. Sometimes it may be a phone that people want, but no matter what, I just stay away from promoted posts. I don't buy phones that people are promoting. Why? Because nobody wants them. I want phones that other people want so that I can resell it. All right, let me tell you guys a really good fact. About 48% of the phones that I buy, I resell on OfferUp. So if I buy a phone on OfferUp, I will buy the phone and then relist it right back up on OfferUp. Did you guys know that? And it sells. Why? Because, see, some of these people are so eager to sell a phone and get some money that they don't have the patience just to wait for the right offer. I do. You get what I'm saying? Now, this goes back to another point, and you need to know this point before we start talking about negotiating, is that some people, they view, hey, my time is so important when it comes to, I need the fastest amount of money. I'll take maybe $50 off, or I'll take $80 off, or even $100 off if you will come to me today. Like, I had somebody say that to me, and it was for something else. It was for like a camera or something. And the person was saying to me, I'll do. Okay, here we go. It was a camera, right? I don't know why I was looking at this camera. I think I was doing another video. But look, I said $300, $400 lowest. Sorry, paid a lot. Cool. I said no problem. I understand. That's it. Right? I didn't say, oh, well, could you do this? Could you do that? And at the time, I think I was looking at this camera for my daughter. I can't remember, but it was this weekend. But I'm trying to think, was it for Valentine's? Was it like a makeup for Valentine's Day or something? But no matter what, I needed a camera. Okay, I wanted the camera. So I wanted this camera bad. I actually got the camera. The camera's literally right here. I got the camera. But the camera's not got from this person. Why? Because this person bit the bait. And I saw that this person was price gouging. And maybe you may be saying, well, B, you could have got this for cheaper. I got the camera I got. The camera I got, right? The camera I got, because my daughter wants to start vlogging, I got for $200. That is a $699 camera. So let me explain. Now, negotiating is one of my skill sets, right? So what happened was I said I'll do 3. He has it for 500. I already know he only probably wants 4, right? I said I'll do 300. He said 400 is my lowest. Sorry, paid a lot. Now, when he said sorry, that's where he should have left it. But see, he lost because he then wanted to rebuttal and tell me why he won't go low, which lets me know you'll go lower. It's a mental gymnastics, okay? If somebody declines and objects or says no immediately without any response, they just say 400 lowest, sorry. Let's say he didn't say all of this, right? Let's just say he just said this right here, okay? If he said that, what I want you to do is I want you to say, okay, cool. Let that sit there. Just say, no problem. Why? Because what it does is it shows you the bait. It shows you if this person is playing, if this person is serious. It lets you know how desperate an individual is. A lot of people, you have to find these people that want the money more than they want to wait. So, okay, he said 400 lowest. He said, paid a lot for it, basically brand new. Da, da, da. I said, no problem. I understand. He said, only way I'll take 350 if you come to me today. Did y'all see me respond? No, right? And then look at how I didn't respond. So he said, only way if I do it today. That was on February 22nd. Then on February 23rd, he sends me question mark. Then, and that was at 12 a.m. So it already passed the day. Okay. It already passed the day. Then he hits me up in the morning and says, I'll do 300 if you add the JBL charge. Because I guess I don't run my my offer up. I have a whole other team doing that. So I guess I have a JBL charge up. But regardless, right, he starts still negotiating. But I thought I only could get it for $350 if I came that day. The point of the matter is no matter what, a lot of us, we are sleeping on our potential of just basically catching people in their bluffs, right? A lot of these individuals, especially on OfferUp and Facebook, they're not professional negotiators, right? So they don't negotiate for a living. So they're not going to be as smooth as you're about to be. I promise you that, okay? So I want you to take out a piece of paper and let's get into it, okay? Now, I'm going to go over a slideshow that I made years ago because this slideshow still is relevant, but I'm going to add on different little tactics. And one thing I want to say first is you do not need to copy everything I say word for word. You need to be able to listen to what I'm saying and then put a little bit of it inside your own little pitch, okay? I guarantee you'll be a beast and you'll be able to literally buy anything you want with these strategies. All right. So the first thing I want to do is I want you guys to picture a world where you're more valuable than the thing that you're trying to buy. Okay. When you go into any type of negotiation, you never need to go into the negotiation thinking that the product or whatever the thing you need is more important than your money. All right. Because you have to remember that if somebody is listing something, they need money. They need liquid cash because they have an asset. Right. But who has that liquid cash? They need you. So if you're talking about somebody listing a phone, well, yeah, that phone is valuable. It's valuable to the right person. And the money that I have is valuable to anybody, though. Right. So I'll explain it and say it a little slower. So the phone is valuable to the right person, but the money I have in my hand is valuable to everyone. Because the phone, maybe it's an iPhone 14. If I got an iPhone 15, I don't want it. But if I'm paying, let's say, $300 for that phone, if I give $300 to that person that got that iPhone 15 too, they'll take it. Right? No matter what, you'll take that $300 because that $300 is way more valuable than that device. Right? So you have to understand that when you go into a negotiation, you're the most valuable person. I really want you guys to understand that. It's not funny, not a joke. I want you guys to understand that. That's the first thing we need to get straight, is that you are the number one option. You are the value. The person is not the value. Okay? Very important. The product is not the value. All right. Find these platforms. So we already know we're only going to be talking about OfferUp right now. So you want to create a system. What is the end goal? What is the timeline? What action can be done? How will you monitor it? What if it isn't done? Okay, so creating a system is important. Now, this is still relevant. And here's the thing. When I go into any negotiation or the camera that we just saw, a prime example, is what was the end goal? The end goal was I wanted the camera, right? But the end goal of me wanting the camera isn't the necessity. That isn't the priority. Because, see, the priority of me wanting the camera is I want the camera if it cost me X amount of money. I want whatever device you're trying to go negotiate for. I want the device if the device is going to cost me X amount of dollars. The difference is when you're going into negotiating, trying to find phones, you think about it like this. I want the phone. That's it. So you start politicking, saying, oh, could you do this amount? Could you do that amount? Because you're not willing to walk away from the phone because you want the phone. You don't want the phone for X amount of dollars. That's where the price list comes at play. Because this price list right here isn't about, hey, buyers, even though it is 50 buyers on there, the buyers will pay you X amount of dollars. It's about, oh, I want the iPhone 16 Pro 256. for at most, matter of fact, $500. Because I know that it's worth $595. Now, that's a stretch, right? But it's a stretch because we need to let the person negotiate us up, which we'll talk about in a second. But again, these are the mental gymnastics that you have to train yourself on understanding so that you close more deals. So when you go into a negotiation, it's not about what you want. It's about what I want for X amount of dollars, because money talks. Okay? Now, how to find the right marks. This is important. Finding the right marks means finding the right people, finding the right posts, finding the right sellers, okay? Type in iPhone. We already did that. Look for your price point. Inspect the post. Now, let's go and let's take another look at OfferUp. So we type in iPhone, okay? And I want you to do this every day. Like, do this every day at work. Do this every day on your downtime. Just type in whatever you want, right? Now, I see an iPhone 13. We'll use this for an example because this is extremely high priced. Even if it's a 512, it's still not worth that amount of money. And this person obviously has a profile. They have 3 stars. I can get this, right? They want to show us on TikTok. I guess that's the new thing, the whole TikTok thing. Well, I don't need this for TikTok, okay? I don't need this. And then it says all offers are welcome. So this is a friendly negotiation right here. Okay. This person's in Philly. He last updated an hour ago. Perfect. Now, what I'll do is I could look at the list. I could see how much an iPhone 13 Pro Max costs, but this is used. So hold on. iPhone 13 Pro Max. All right. So 512, we're looking at 470, right? So I say I can do 350. That's it, right? You don't have the box, right? Now, you don't have to say this part. You can say whatever question you want. The reason I always say a question is because I want the person to answer me. Now, the person is more likely going to answer me if I am asking a question, right? But if I don't ask a question and I just say I could do this amount, then they may not answer me in general, right? And I don't want that. I want them to answer me. Like, that is just the honest truth. I want them to answer me, but I also don't want to give up my leverage. Therefore, I'm not saying, oh, how much will you take? I hate a negotiation that says, well, how much? What's the least you would take? This is not a flea market. Now, you could say that what's the least you'll take in person, and a lot of people get that type of verbiage from people that like buy gold, prime example, and a lot of people that buy gold, they are buying gold in person. So if I was to say, well, what's the lowest amount you'll take? I can look at that person in his eyes and I can try to intimidate them. I can try to catch them in a bluff. I can try and do like little movements that could persuade that person to saying what I want them to say instead of saying what they feel. Okay. This is all things that we're going to keep covering, guys. This is just the first part of this. We will be going into deeper and deeper negotiation tactics because I want you guys to be really, really good at this. All right. How to inspect the listing. You want to find the IMEI, find what grade the product is, look for a price and the price on the phone price list. Now, the price list, of course, you can get it if you don't have it already at hustlertaught.me.com. But finding the IMEI, a little bit has changed, right? You don't need to find the IMEI right away because 9 times out of 10, if the IMEI is not on the listing is not being done by somebody that is a wholesale seller. A wholesale seller is somebody that sells phones on a consistent basis and they are just looking to make money, vice versa. So you have people that want to just sell phones because they're collecting dust in their drawers, and then you have people that want to sell phones because they just got phones that they brought from people that just got them out the store, or they just used a profile or CPN to get phones from a phone store. They want to get these phones off their hands and just get their money, right? So you have 2 different type of people in that type of wholesale seller realm. So they're not going to give you the IMEI from the rip unless they're just trying to sell the phone. A lot of people don't understand what the IMEI is, what it does, and how people control devices with IMEIs. I'm confused, but the only way is if you know somebody that has that carrier, and then you know there's somebody that's a rep at that carrier's location, then they take the IMEI and probably blacklist it or do something, or swap it. But like, that's a really far-fetched thing that could happen, right? But yeah, and here's the thing, right? Don't listen to this because this is an older slide. Like I said, it's hustlertaught.me.com. But you want to look at the prices on a price list, because the prices on a price list are always going to tell you what you should and should not be offering. So I know for a fact for the 512 not to offer anything over 470. So if I'm going into negotiations, I'm more so going to say, okay, 350, even though I know for a fact I got more wiggle room. I'm not necessarily trying to use all of my wiggle room. But I don't want to talk about how we're going to do pricing yet. I just want to talk about the mental aspect of it today, because it's a lot to take in, especially if you're watching this later on and you can't ask me questions. It's a lot to take in because we want to make sure that we're actually excelling at this. So you want to find your profit. So find the device on the price list, subtract your profit from the price list, subtract 50 for negotiation room. So if you want to make $50, subtract another $50 for negotiating room so you can have some wiggle room. You can do that and make the best offer, but you want to be direct. You don't want to say, hey, how you doing? My name is Brandon. My dog got caught on fire. I have another dog named Hustle. I live here. I studied psychology at Harvard. Like, nobody cares about any of that. Just be direct. Say, I can do X, then ask an open-ended question. Now, the reason you want to ask open-ended question is because if they talk and respond, you know you got them. You also know that you can develop a connection with them and then hopefully get that phone. All right. Now, how to deal with objections. What is an objection? An objection is when somebody says no, when somebody doesn't want to do what you wanted them to do. That's an objection. So you hear me saying things about objections a lot. Okay. Have bullet points. Now, what we used to call this is having bullets in the boom, boom. I don't want to say the word, but having bullets in the chamber to be able to combat the objections that people may say. Prime example, if I say I want to do $350 for the iPhone 13, he could say, well, this is iPhone 13. That's the point. That would be one of my bullets. That's the point. It's an older device, sir. This is the best price that we offer. Or he may say, well, I'm not going to just give it to you for that amount because it has TikTok on it. Sir, I'm not using this device for TikTok. If I'm being completely honest with you, TikTok will be erased and I'll be selling this as a like new device. Oh, well, I don't want to sell to a reseller because you guys cheat in price anyway. Sir, no, actually, I'm paying you more. I'm going to be financing this device within my store where I will be making my profit. It won't necessarily be me making profit from the offer I'm giving you. So having bullet points to be able to combat the objections people give to you is important. And it helps you when it comes to how you can snap back and talk, have dialogue professionally, but also confidently with other people as far as the resellers. Okay. Now, the 4 factors of impulse, we're going to go way more into depth on this probably tomorrow, but we'll talk about it for a second. Jones factor. Jones factor. No, it's Jones effect. People follow the Joneses. They want what others have. Indifference. Sometimes simply not sweating the sale will land you the sale. Fear of loss. One of the greatest fears people have is fear of loss, losing what they could have. Sense of urgency. It is not a good look to let your prospect feel like you can get, or they can get with. Basically, sense of urgency is basically them feeling like the product or the offer is going to go away eventually. Now, that person tried to do that with me on OfferUp when he said, well, if you do it today, I'll do it for $350. The problem with sense of urgency is you have to stand on it. You can't say, hey, Brandon, if you do not buy this phone today, I got to go up $50, right? And then I don't buy the phone, and then you hit me up and say, do you still want it for X amount of dollars? No. Like, if I go to somebody and I say, well, if you don't buy this phone today, then it's going to be $100 tomorrow. What I'll do is, if I wanted to hit them up, which I would never do that, I would just move on. But if I wanted to hit them up, I'll be like, hey, are you still going to buy the iPhone for, if it was $300 yesterday, $400 today? Like, you got to stand on your sense of urgency or people will stop respecting you. Okay? Now, the biggest thing that I want to say is it's important for you guys to make sure that you are utilizing the tactics that I'm showing you. But what I will do is we will go more in depth on this negotiation and how to negotiate later on today. I want to do it a little bit in the afternoon where maybe hopefully I have you guys attending. So I'll shoot for 6 p.m. To go live and hopefully talk to you guys, because I know I'm live a little earlier and people at work. But it's really important for you guys to know the negotiation aspect of how to get these devices in a way that helps you instead of like puts you in a position where you're desperate, right? So these are really, really key tips on negotiating for devices, and I'm glad that I could bring this to you guys, and I appreciate you guys for watching, and you know I love and appreciate every single thing you guys do. Make sure you guys subscribe. If you are new, my name is Brandon Jones, and I specialize in helping you make an extra income, and I will